Last month's Old Firm clash was everything fans expected and more. Intense, dramatic, and surrounded by controversy long after the final whistle. Rangers secured a massive victory away at Celtic Park, with Hamza Igerman snatching a dramatic late winner that sent the visiting support into ecstasy. But while the scoreline made headlines, it was something off the ball that sparked even more discussion across Scotland. And it had nothing to do with tactics or goals. During the euphoric celebrations that followed, the late goal cameras caught Rangers winger Vaclav Cerny turning toward the Celtic fans and spraying water in their direction. That moment, just seconds long, sent shockwaves through social media and Scottish football forums alike. The reaction was immediate. Celtic fans were furious, calling the act provocative and disrespectful. Many demanded action from the authorities, arguing that it incited an already volatile atmosphere in the stadium. The clip went viral online, with supporters from both sides of the rivalry weighing in. For Rangers fans, it was largely brushed off as harmless banter in the heat of the moment, a bit of cheeky retaliation after what they considered years of taunting and disrespect from the other side. But for the Celtic faithful, it crossed the line, a symbol of unsportsmanlike behavior in one of the most emotionally charged derbies in world football. The incident prompted a formal complaint, and Police Scotland soon opened an investigation into Cerny's actions. The pressure started to build. Would there be a punishment? Would the winger face a suspension or a fine? Was it just a misunderstanding or something more serious? As the days passed, speculation grew, with every outlet in the country covering the story from all angles. But now, after weeks of back and forth, we finally have a concrete update. Police Scotland has officially confirmed that their investigation into Vaclav Cerny has concluded and that no further action will be taken. According to the authorities, there was no criminality identified. Officers spoke with the club, provided guidance, and decided that the matter did not warrant any charges or formal punishment. Essentially, the case is closed. It's a decision that's likely to divide opinion. For many Rangers fans, it will come as a relief, a sign that common sense has prevailed and that the issue was blown out of proportion from the start. For others, especially on the green side of Glasgow, it will feel like yet another example of leniency when it comes to behavior that in their view should not be tolerated in professional football. This development brings a bit of closure to what had become a growing off-field distraction for the club. While the team continues its push in the domestic league and in European competition, the last thing they needed was for one of their key players to be caught up in legal trouble. Cerny himself has not made any public comments since the incident, and with the police investigation now over, it's unlikely we'll hear anything more from him on the matter. Internally, Rangers have handled it quietly, showing support for their player while cooperating with authorities behind the scenes. But this wasn't the only storyline surrounding Rangers in recent weeks. As tensions around the Cerny incident simmered, a bigger conversation was taking place about the state of the club under Barry Ferguson's leadership. Since stepping into the managerial role, Ferguson has been widely praised by former players and fans alike for transforming the mood around Ibrox. One of the loudest voices backing him recently was none other than former Rangers striker Nacho Novo, who pulled no punches when describing how things were before Ferguson arrived. According to Novo Life under previous manager Philippe, Clement was almost unbearable for the players. In a recent interview, he revealed that the training sessions were overly long, sometimes reaching 3 hours, and that players were denied simple joys like five-a-side matches or even days off to spend time with their families. Tackling during training was forbidden, and players were reportedly burned out and unmotivated. Novo even compared the atmosphere at the club to that of a prison, saying it was no way for professionals to prepare for the demands of domestic and European football. Since Ferguson took charge, everything has changed. Players are smiling again, there's a clear structure in training, and perhaps most importantly, there's a sense of freedom. Ferguson has given players proper rest periods, including time off during international breaks, to reconnect with their families. According to Novo, this has had a massive impact on morale and performance. He believes the squad genuinely enjoys working under Ferguson, who has brought back a sense of identity and passion to the team. Novo didn't stop there. He pointed out the strength of the new coaching staff, highlighting names like Neil McCann and Billy Dodds, both of whom have experience managing at various levels and bring deep tactical understanding. For Novo, this is a team that knows what Rangers is all about, a group of professionals who understand the demands of the badge and are prepared to fight for success. He's gone so far as to suggest the club should give Ferguson and his staff at least a full year in charge to show what they can build, arguing that continuity and belief in their own people is what Rangers needs right now. And in the background of all this, the drama, the victories, the managerial praise, there's another massive storyline unfolding. The long-rumored takeover involving 49ers Enterprises is gathering real momentum. Led by former goalkeeper Andrew Kavar and football executive Greta Steinson, the American group is moving closer to finalizing the acquisition of the club, a move that could reshape Rangers' future on and off the pitch. Steinson, who already plays a major role as a key voice for 49ers Enterprises in football matters, has been spotted frequently attending Rangers matches and meetings. While his background includes time at Leeds United, Everton, and even Tottenham Hotspur, it's his reputation as a decisive, straight-talking operator that has caught the attention of those inside Ibrox. He's not just a figurehead, sources say. He's actively involved in shaping the club's direction during this transitional phase. Although he won't be stepping in as sporting director himself, his influence will be felt throughout the organization. The plan, it seems, is to build a more collaborative structure, learning from past mistakes where decision-making power was too concentrated or unclear. If everything goes as expected, the takeover could be confirmed publicly within the coming weeks, with legal processes already advancing behind the scenes. This changing of the guard brings hope for a new era at Rangers. One with a fresh vision, international backing, and a renewed focus on building success sustainably. Whether it's on the pitch with Barry Ferguson's revamped squad or off it with the guidance of Steinson and the 49ers group, there's a growing sense that something big is brewing in Glasgow's blue half. And while controversies like Cerny's, water spray may dominate headlines briefly, the real story might be the foundation being laid for the club's next chapter. As the dust settles on the Václav Cerny incident and the noise around his water spray fades from the headlines, the real focus at Rangers is shifting toward the bigger picture. And that picture is filled with promise, change, and ambition. While the club continues to make noise on the pitch under Barry Ferguson's no-nonsense leadership, behind the scenes, the movement from the 49ers Enterprises takeover is becoming more visible by the day. And at the heart of it all is a man who's flown under the radar in many headlines, Greta Steinson. For the casual fan, his name might not ring immediate bells, but inside football circles, especially across Europe and the UK, Steinson is known as a figure of vision and structure. A former Iceland international with close to 50 caps, Steinson hung up his boots in 2013 after injuries cut his playing career short. But instead of stepping away from the game, he doubled down. He pursued qualifications in football management, earned an FA Technical Director certificate, and spent time learning under some of the biggest minds in European football, including Louis van Gaal at the Johan Cruyff Institute in the Netherlands. It wasn't long before he transitioned into executive roles, bringing his players' mindset into boardroom strategies. His early days in football operations saw him working at clubs like Fleetwood Town and AZ Alkmaar before earning positions at Everton and Tottenham. He became known for his direct approach, sharp scouting eye, and commitment to modernizing the way clubs operate. At Everton, he worked under Marcel Brands, helping develop long-term squad strategies, while at Spurs, he took on performance director duties during a turbulent period under Fabio Paratici. His move to Leeds United following the 49ers full takeover of the club was a turning point. He stepped in as technical director in the aftermath of their relegation, tasked with helping rebuild and reset the club's footballing identity. Steinson's role quickly expanded beyond just signings. He became instrumental in developing a clearer structure for recruitment, coaching pathways, and player development. And while his time at Leeds wasn't without challenges, especially in the chaotic months post-relegation, it further cemented his reputation as someone capable of bringing clarity during moments of upheaval. Now his attention is focused firmly on Rangers. While he isn't taking on a public-facing role like sporting director, multiple sources have indicated that he's already deeply involved in club matters. He's been seen touring the training facilities, attending games, and holding informal conversations with current staff members. His presence isn't just symbolic, it's strategic. Insiders describe him as a straight-talking, results-driven figure who isn't interested in flash or PR, but in creating the kind of stability and direction that Rangers have at times lacked in recent years. He and Andrew Kavar, another key figure in the 49ers football project, are reportedly committed not just to investing financially, but to embedding a clear footballing philosophy within Rangers. Kavar, a former college goalkeeper in the U.S., brings his own deep passion for the sport, but it's Steinson who will likely shape the operational and recruitment side of the club's future. Together, they've been described as hands-on, detail-focused, and determined to make Rangers a long-term success, not just domestically, but in Europe as well. Their growing involvement can be seen in the small things. They've started referring to Rangers as we in internal conversations, a subtle shift that signals just how invested they are emotionally and professionally. While the final steps of the takeover process are still being completed behind the scenes, with legal paperwork progressing steadily since March, those close to the situation say it's now a matter of when, not if. This looming ownership change comes at a pivotal time. Barry Ferguson's early tenure has already shown promising signs of a cultural shift. Training is more dynamic, the players look energized, and the team seems to be buying into a clear vision again. That's something Steinson and Kavar are keen to support. A manager who understands the club's DNA, surrounded by staff who've been there, done it, and know what it means to win in a Rangers shirt. There are still questions, of course. Will Steinson push for a new sporting director to lead recruitment, or will he prefer a more collaborative model where key figures like head of recruitment and coaching staff have shared influence? What will the relationship look like between the football department and the boardroom once the 49ers officially take control? And how much autonomy will Barry Ferguson have when it comes to shaping his squad? These are the structural decisions that can define a club's future. But if Steinson's past is anything to go by, Rangers fans can expect a system that prioritizes clarity, communication, and purpose. His career has shown a consistent belief that former players, if properly educated and trained, are among the best suited to lead clubs off the pitch. It's a belief that seems to align well with the trust currently being placed in Ferguson and his coaching staff. What's especially interesting is the contrast with how Rangers approached recruitment and club structure in recent years. Under previous leadership, the club flirted with various models, sometimes empowering a sporting director, sometimes bypassing the role entirely. Neil Copen, who moved from head of recruitment to technical director, often found himself in a position without full authority, a situation that created ambiguity and inefficiency. By comparison, Steinson represents a chance to reset the balance. Whether through direct influence or through appointing the right people in key roles, his hand will be felt in how the club moves forward from here. As the 49ers era draws nearer and the Ferguson revolution gains momentum on the pitch, there's a growing optimism among Rangers supporters. The pieces are starting to fall into place. A manager who bleeds blue, a backroom staff with experience and heart, a football operation being molded by people who understand the modern game and know how to build successful systems. And now behind all of that, owners who are not only financially capable, but committed to making Rangers a European force once more. This isn't just about budgets or balance sheets. It's about identity, long-term planning, and restoring a culture that holds players, staff, and executives to the highest standards. From the fallout of the Old Firm incident to the sweeping structural changes now underway, it's clear that Rangers are entering a new chapter. The drama of match day will always capture the headlines, but it's the moves being made off the pitch that could define the club for the next decade. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. The Scottish football scene is abuzz with excitement, as Rangers have reportedly set their sights on one of the Premier League's most dynamic midfielders, Thomas Partey. The Ghanaian international, currently plying his trade at Arsenal, has caught the eye of Ibrox's hierarchy with his commanding presence in the middle of the park. But what makes this pursuit truly intriguing is the growing speculation that the move could be more than just a transfer. It could be a game changer for both. Clubs, Partey's journey to prominence has been nothing short of remarkable. From his early days at Atletico Madrid to his $45 million switch to Arsenal in 2020, the midfielder has consistently showcased his abilities on the grand stage. His performances in the UEFA Europa League and his crucial role in the Ghana national team have cemented his reputation as one of Africa's top footballing talents. With Rangers looking to bolster their squad, Partey's experience in top-flight football and international tournaments makes him a perfect fit for their ambitious plans. Rangers' interest in Partey is not just about securing a talented player. It's a strategic move that could elevate their competitiveness in both domestic and European competitions. The club has been on the rise in recent years, aiming to challenge Celtic's dominance in the Scottish Premiership. With Partey's technical skill, leadership, and knack for breaking up opposition attacks, he could be the midfielder who turns the tide in Rangers' favor. His defensive prowess, coupled with his ability to launch counterattacks, would provide an edge the team desperately needs. Yet the path to securing Partey's signature is riddled with challenges. Arsenal, with their eyes on a return to the top of the Premier League, may not be willing to part with a player of Partey's caliber so easily. Additionally, the midfielder's recent injury woes could raise concerns about his long-term availability. However, with the right offer, Rangers might just be able to convince both the player and Arsenal that a move north of the border is in the cards. As the transfer window looms, all eyes will be on whether Rangers can land one of the Premier League's most coveted midfielders. The thought of Partey in the heart of their midfield is a tantalizing prospect for fans who dream of European glory. Will the Ghanaian international make the move to Glasgow? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the race for Thompson. Partey is heating up, and it's a story that could define the future of both Rangers and Arsenal. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.